Got my atheism hat on. I don't know how atheists got hooked in with the fedora meme. Traditionally, it was like something like old men would wear, like, or men in the olden days. Men always wore hats until they did the safety dance. But $6.12 for this can of coffee. I try to tell people how expensive it is here, and it's like you don't understand. It's insane. It's insane. But, I mean, I get it. It's like you're on an island, so you gotta have everything shipped to you. So you gotta take that into consideration. But it's just yeah, I'll go through like $100 doing nothing, like spending it on nothing, you know. Just I'll come home at the end of the day and just buying stuff to get me from point A to point B. You know, I don't stop for a coffee. I don't eat often, but when I do, or whatever, just bullshit that you buy during the day, moving around. $80-$100, you know, easy. You know, especially when you're not keeping track of it. I have a Twitter account. I don't really use it that much. If I'm posting memes to Instagram, who cares about my Twitter account? Point is, I was on there the other day, and I was got into this thread. And Benjamin was talking about flat Earth, and he's like, I don't know if it's flat, I don't know if it's round, I don't know what it is, but it's not what they're telling us, you know. They're lying somewhere along the line. And I like him. I think he's all right. I know he's done some fucking weird things, and I don't trust him. I know he's. I'd almost bet anything he's a operative, but I enjoy him. He's funny. So I wasn't defending him or anything, but all the people that were attacking him were, you know, coming at him with these science facts. I got into it with some of these guys, and I quickly realized there's no fucking way I can win any argument here. You know, because here's the deal. Well, for instance, like this one guy is like, well, you know, gravity, this and that. And I mentioned something about gravity, and he's like, well, you know, gravity is measurable and observable. And I'm like, how? And then he gives me like a buoyancy and density kind of exercise. You know, I forget what it was. It was like if you drop a coin in they always do this. The one about the dropping things out the building, they'll they'll hit at the same time. You know, it's like, on the one hand, it's like, well, did you do this fucking test yourself? Did you do this experiment yourself? No. But I don't know. I feel like if I went to the top of one of these buildings, right, and I dropped a rock and a flower, okay, I don't know. I don't know if they would both hit the ground at the same time. I don't know. I've never tried it, but something tells me that that's not the case. You hold a flower, all right, in one hand, like a, you know, flower, and then a rock. You know, they're both going to hit the ground at the same time. I don't know if that's kind of well, that's what he was saying. But then, you know, I quickly realized I don't even have anything I can, he's got the guy on the other side arguing for the gravity thing. He's got all these science books written by Khazars about a fake thing called science. And in his world it makes sense, and he's correct. Like, well, a study by this Khazar said this and that, and then the theory of this Khazar said this and that. So if this is this, it all works together. It's all bullshit that works together so they can reference other bullshit. The whole thing is it's fake. Science is what they give us to explain the magic that they use. They use magic, they give us science. Science is a way to rationalize magic. And it's just a bunch of bullshit. Einstein, his theory of relativity, and it's like, who'd you steal that from? Patents, man. Who'd you steal that idea from? Speaking about when he used to say Einstein's theory of relativity is that he fucked his cousin, which he did. Did he marry her? I could be confusing him with Jerry Lee Lewis somewhere. Nah, Jerry, did Jerry do that? I don't know. Now I'm just throwing everybody under the fucking bus. But yeah, you can't argue with someone because they're gonna win because they're in this world. They're on this side of the veil. They're in the matrix. They're completely in here. So the guy arguing with me with all this science, he has all the reference and the evidence that says he's correct, but everything he knows is wrong. Everything he knows is made up bullshit. So you can't try explaining that to someone. You can't. You shouldn't be arguing with people on Twitter anyway. I mean, that's the devil right there. You know, they want you to take your anger out, your emotions, and let's walk around a little bit. I'm stuck over here. But yeah, they want you to rage. And like, I never go on there, and I was on there, what, 15 minutes? I'm already like, you know, fighting with some dude already. And you know, but the thing is, he's correct. But he's in a different world. He's in the Matrix world, where yeah, all these Khazars said all this stuff, and you can reference this Khazar, whose theory of that Khazar from the chart made by this Khazar. And the Khazars aren't like the all-powerful beings that do it. They're simply the bagmen. You know, they're simply the gopher. You know, they get the copy. They execute the plan. They execute the play. The play is created way above their heads. You know, we can't give them too much credit. Like this whole thing about, you know, how they run the world. They don't run the world. I guess, well, mechanically, I guess, they run the play, but they're not evil geniuses who came up with this whole thing. They're not. They're just one more group of creeps that have joined with the Legion of Doom to enslave humanity. You know, they took the deal a long time ago. The same kind of deal that, like, Jesus had up on the cliff. You know, it's Satan going, look at all this stuff you can have. You could be the master in this material realm with us. And of course, Jesus, you know, he's good, you know. But these guys, like, you know, we just have to betray humanity. That's all we have to do. Okay. You got it, Goy. I mean, cattle. I mean, guy. And that was it. But, yeah, so it's like arguing with someone in that world is impossible. You're not going to convince them or anything. You know, how do you say, but all that stuff you're talking about is made up science, made up bullshit. It sounds like once you understand or begin to understand, I always say once you understand, but I don't understand. I'm beginning to understand. It just sounds like a bunch of nonsense. Like when, you know, people talk about pounds per pressure, per how you can have a thrust in a vacuum, and it's all this stuff. It's like citing this thing and this experiment and this kind of problem. It's like listening to Star Trek and they're trying to tell you why they have a warp core breach. And it's just all these nonsense words. That's what it sounds like once you're out of that world. Once you're on this side of the, whatever you call it, veil, fence, however you want to put it, it sounds like a bunch of nonsense. Because it actually is a bunch of nonsense. But it's an ordered, structured nonsense that has been passed down through generations and held up as truth. Because, oh, everybody knows. Yeah, it's just something everyone knows. I love that too. Like, well, everyone knows this. It's like, do they? Why? Because someone told you? Was this something you figured out on your own? You know? No. Someone told you. A lot of that. A lot of the stuff that I'm kind of coming into is stuff that's I'm experiencing within. I'm figuring out in myself, and other people are doing the same. There's a spiritual awakening that's been happening now for a while, and people are they're crossing over. They're making that leap. You know, it can't be stopped. It's not going to be stopped. You know, it's going to happen. And all the people with their studies and their false bullshit, they're in big trouble. I found this, I speak a lot about that lately, about things that the evil that goes unchecked, you know, the stuff they do to children, and it gets you mad, you know. And as it often does, I occasionally will open the Bible, and it will go right to a part, not occasionally, I open the Bible quite a bit, but occasionally when I open it, it will go to a section that's addressing what's on my mind. I made a whole video about that, the freakiness of that, and it opened to the section about punishment of the wicked and what they can expect to inherit for their deeds. Sounds pretty bad. Sounds pretty bad. After reading the entire bit, it's like, what is it in? Oh God, what is it in? What book is it in? I'll put it up here on the screen. But yeah, it's like a page and a half of all the stuff that's in store. And God raining down His blows upon you. I finished it, and I'm just sitting there, and I close the book, and I'm just like, whoa. I just sat there for like a minute, just like staring up into space, going, wow. It gives you a little bit of comfort. It doesn't help the suffering of what's going on now. It doesn't help those that are crying for help now. But it's something, you know. It's a little bit. While it's not good to focus too much on that kind of suffering, you do have to think about it sometimes, because it reminds you of what you're doing here. You know, you have to be mindful of it, man. You got to be mindful of evil, what's happening, and as we speak, you know, on this island for sure. I said it before that as far as trying to talk to people that are in the matrix still, it's like trying to communicate with someone through a foot of glass, like something that you see at an aquarium. Like it's just so thick that communication, just, you know, making hand signals and screaming, you can barely understand each other. You can't try to argue with someone or try to sway someone's opinion or thought if they're in that world. And it's very rare that you can bring someone out of it. I know a lot of us have tried, usually with disastrous results, at least in my case only. You alienate people, have them think you're a weirdo. And in some cases it can be dangerous because, you know, hey, I heard that guy does this and that. And then you could have a knock on your door, and then the van comes around. You know what I mean? You don't know how scared and desperate people are, and how cucked they are to authority these days. That whole COVID exercise showed you exactly how dangerous a majority of the people around you are. They will call the Gestapo on you, and they'll think they did something good. You know? They'll think they did something good because you had too many people in your house during a lockdown. So the old meme, like, about hiding your power level, you know, there's a lot of truth to that. And when people are new to this world, or this understanding, they come into it, of course, the instinct is to, you gotta let everybody know. I don't want them to let me know, you know, your family or whatever. And that's when you have to kind of, you won't realize it right away, but you will eventually, that you're not like a lot of your close friends and your family. they're a different thing than you. In any time, and if you're trying to reach out there, is only going to get you hurt. It's the drowning retard that's going to just pull you under with them, you know. It could be a bone density issue though, as well, you know. So I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to turn this into a racial thing, but yeah, you got to try to just communicate with people still in the matrix in a I try to be friendly and quick. Yeah, oh yeah. I don't want them to start talking about something, you know, about anything really, and me have to like bite my tongue and just sit there and have the eyes roll in the back of my head. Certainly not on fucking Twitter. I don't know what the hell I was thinking there. But as always, you don't blame the teacher, blame the school.